House during brooding. The site should be on somewhere high elevation and ideally on top of a low ridge with good natural air and water drainage to create a smooth raised floor through which no surface water may enter. The earth should be graded up, smooth, and packed down. Brooder houses often used for both brooding and for rearing to market age. The width usually varies for 24 to 40 feet, the length from 100 up to 600 feet. Clear span, rigid frame, gable roof houses, 40 feet wide and 30 feet long, are popular. A concrete or asphalt floor 3 inches thick, level or with a slight downslope from center to sides or rear to front is highly desirable, although raised clay floors sometimes are used successfully. The gable roof usually is of metal and not over about 15 feet high at the top. Side or down sliding glass windows should be evenly spaced in front and rear walls at the rate of about 1 square foot of glass to 10 square feet of floor space. Mechanical ventilation is highly desirable in all brooder houses and necessary in those over 40 feet wide. Um, Although partitions do not appear to be necessary in small brooding and rearing houses, some operators prefer to place them at intervals in long houses so that no more than 1,000 or 1,500 turkeys can be housed in one pen. Electric wiring should be installed and water should be piped to the building with numerous frost-proof outlets. Wire floors for brooding house. Wire floors, like slots, make the use of litter unnecessary and they tend to prevent field-borne diseases such as Busidiosis, hexamachiosis, and blackhead. And the small mesh starting wire is retained for about 4 weeks and then is taken up. The poults use the large mesh wire for the rest of the brooding period when most of them will be roosting if roosts are available. Long stretches of open space beneath the floor should be broken up by sturdy wood or metal dividers every 50 feet to minimize floor drops. Um, Slat floors for brooder houses. Um, Removable 4 feet square section composed of plaster lath or narrow lath-like slats mounted on metal or wooden supports are good brooder house floors. They minimize losses from crowding and peeling and help to prevent field-borne diseases. Um, on the slats, you can raise poults to fryer rooster age. The slots would be replaced by litter after 8 to 16 weeks if the space is used for rearing. Types of brooders. Equipment that used for brooding are called brooders. First is the non-vented propane gradient gas hoover brooders. This is the most extensively used of the numerous varieties available. Are those that do not have any smoke exhaust or chimney pipes. The second is the catalytic gas hoover brooders. They are a brand new invention that claims to be both fireproof and efficient. The third is vented gas hover brooders and have smoke exhaust pipes, plenty of heat, and don't pollute the air within the house. The fourth is the continuous hot water brooding systems. Um, it is ideally suited to cold weather brooding if they are properly built and placed. They're safe, dependable, and long-lasting, and they offer a safety margin in the event of heat outage. The fifth is infrared electric heat lamp brooding devices. In warm weather, they are sufficient for brooding pods. Nevertheless, in cold weather, they are insufficient. Coal and wood burning colony brooder stoves. Um, it generate a lot of heat and are dependable and efficient if built properly with 4 or 5-inch diameter smoke pipes. Nevertheless, they are rarely utilized and are now entirely unavailable. Forest hot air brooding system provide an economical and safe type of heat for breeding but supply no heat reserve. And the last one is battery brooders. Many operators use battery brooders for starting poults for 5 to 14 days or a little longer, then transfer them to full floor brooding quarters. Mm, Under the Hoover, the beginning poults have learned to eat and drink and do not require any specific litter or floor arrangements. Debeaking. Many growers depeak poults at 3 to 5 weeks of age to prevent cannibalism. It is suggested for turkeys that will be grown in a confined space. Desnoding, uh, removing snod, also known as the jubil, the tabular fleshly appendage on top of the head near the front. Uh, Wing clipping and notching. Um, Sharp, heavy shears, hedge clippers, or sharp hatchet and chopping block can be used to trim wing feathers. And toe clipping. So, clipping the toes of each foot and day-old poults is becoming common among turkey growers to prevent scratch or turnbacks. And separation of the sexes. The sex of the day-old poults may be determined by examining the vent. So, it is possible to raise toms and hens separately because raising them separately has advantages. Like first is injuries to the hens due to threading in the latter growth stages are eliminated. So the second one is hens can be marketed at earlier age than the toms without loss of grade due to injuries occurring when the sexes are separated during the loading operation. The third is when hens aren't there, the toms appear to fight and complete less. And the fourth is when following the whole feeding plan, sex segregated flocks can occasionally be fed more efficiently.
So next, I will be discussing about turkey feeding.